So Toyota just issued 2 new recalls that actually aren't listed in NHTSA yet. One of them I think is a little more serious for the Tacoma, and that's the most interesting one. Wait till you hear how they describe this defect. But there's a larger recall for the Tundra, the Sequoia, both the hybrids, non-hybrids, I believe. 400,000 Tundras and Sequoias. Let's dive into the Tundra Sequoia recall first. That'll be pretty quick. Then get to the Tacoma recall, which is much more interesting. So Tundra Sequoia owners, I'm sure you guys will be happy about this. I see this a lot in the Facebook groups. See people say that, oh, the Facebook groups, they're just problems that very few people have. You could potentially have like half a green screen like this on the larger displays. And then it could be all green, it could be all black. Apparently Toyota has finally come up with a software update for this. They're going to be sending letters out in November. So hopefully this issue will be fixed. I see it all the time in the Facebook groups. Some people don't have the problem, some people do. So we'll see if the software fixes the issue. Now the Tacoma recall, this is a little interesting. It says Toyota's conducting a safety recall involving certain 2025 Tacoma four-wheel drive vehicles. Approximately 6,000 vehicles are involved, but it's a pretty bad recall. A part used in the front drive shaft joints in subject vehicles may not have been manufactured with the correct material and can deform or break while driving. So I don't know if that is, the front drive shaft joints, if they're talking about like U-joints that are just cheap and they might deform and break while driving. If it deforms or breaks, the driver may not be able to complete a turn as intended. I got news for you, Toyota. You're going to be doing, it's going to be more than just affecting turns if your U-joint breaks or your drive shaft falls off. If the vehicle is a full-time four-wheel drive model and the part breaks, the vehicle may move while the transmission is in park if you don't have the electronic brake engaged. So that's something definitely want to be on the lookout for. You don't want your drive shaft going out on you. And what's interesting even more about this Toyota recall, this again coming from Facebook groups. So this is why I like going to these Facebook groups and forums. I know people rip on it like, oh, you're just pulling a bunch of anecdotal data. Now they're all turning into recalls. So it's not so funny now, is it? This guy says, just purchased a 2025 Tacoma Sport Premium. Noticed pulsing and vibration 60 to 70 kilometers per hour and at 100 and 110. Anyone else experience this? Some of the other guys down here in the comments, a buddy just purchased a new 25 Tacoma and over 140 it shakes, the interior's bad. So I do think that some of these could be related to that drive shaft issue. You just never know. Something that's imbalanced or not properly made is probably going to be pretty obvious in these vehicles that are so smooth. They're designed to be super smooth on the highway, so any sort of vibration or something that's off, you're going to notice it. But you see this a lot in these forums and comments, and some people have no issues, and they just love them, and then other people they have these problems, and the dealerships generally don't know what to do. They're like, oh no, this is normal behavior. That's the dealership's standard response, and then it'll come out as a recall later or a TSB. Yeah, just more evidence that they're going to be working through a lot of kinks with this new TNGAF platform. But this reminds me of that TFL video, where they had that spline inside of the Tacoma brake, and they actually detuned. Basically through the software, they detuned the Tacoma so that it wouldn't put so much stress, I think, at that high torque RPM range. It's interesting that Toyota continues to have these problems with these newer models. I really do hope they get it straightened out, but I think this is just another example of cost cutting. Not necessarily even planned obsolescence as much as just cost cutting on parts, making the parts maybe just a little bit weaker. They did that with that front drive shaft. And then now this piece, which could be the U-joint or the drive shaft itself where it connects, I don't really know. There's not enough detail here. But when they say it was not manufactured with the correct material, that's a crazy statement to me. But, it is what it is. And I know people will say, well, at least Toyota's taking care of it. Yes, at least they're taking care of it. Everybody in all these recalls from Ford, GM, everybody, they're all taking care of them. Yes, they're being forced to. So, all in the line of, gosh, the first model, second model, even third year of new models, it just kind of goes to show that it's probably getting worse with modern vehicles that, it used to be don't buy the first year of a model year change. Now I'm going to say maybe like don't buy the first 3 to 4 years. Like, wait till it gets a little more mature. The problem with that mentality is that a lot of these manufacturers don't even keep the same body style. Some of them don't keep the same powertrains around for more than like 3 or 4 years. So then you're constantly cycling into that. They're just changing things so rapidly, and then they didn't get the last one right, and they never got it right, and it just keeps cycling, and then they just keep selling new fancy looking things. So let's hope Toyota actually sticks with these designs for a while. They work through these kinks, because nobody really has a great track record right now. Thanks for watching. Till next time.